2, and it didn't work. Sorry, working out the bugs. Here we go. Live in 3, 2. Hi, welcome to TWIR. How we doing? Episode 2. Jenna Fox here along with you today. Google Glass releases a QR code. The look at the VEX championship that came up for high school and college students. And a look at Lost in Space. All that and more up next here on TWIR episode 2. This week in robotics, episode 2, Google Glass QR code, robots, competitions, and more. This week in robot news media top stories, we're looking at Google Glass. They've got their glass.google.com. If you go over there, they're actually setting it up so that you can use a UR code, a QR code, as they're calling it, allowing that when you receive your Google Glass, you'll be able to scan your QR code. We apologize. We've been trying to integrate our new software, allowing us to cut to that image so that you guys could see that. We're still working out the bugs, so bear with us. Yeah, I was really excited about this. I'm on the Explorers Club list, and we're very excited. We're still trying to save up over at our Indiegogo. If you go over there and show your support, if you're able to, if you're not, well, we appreciate all your support and everything that you're doing along with us. But if you go to this over to this Glass website, I'm really excited because they've already got it up now, and they've offered more of the specs coming over the last couple of weeks, allowing you to come in and literally scan using your new Google Glass to set up what your network is. I was just actually trying it, going through some of the setup, and it actually took you to, it said to plug in what your network is, allowing you to connect Wi-Fi. And it brought us up to this very large QR code so that when the Google Glass is turned on and scans it, it'll literally find that network for you, because it creates a QR code around that network number that you created. So it's very, very fascinating stuff. In other news, we had over on Jamtech, if you check those guys out at jamtechnews.blogspot.com, they listed a little bit more of the specs, Google Glass features that are coming out as well, so you guys want to keep an eye on that. As well as that, I was very excited to share and have the opportunity to read this very fun little story as sort of a hypothetical, what it might be like with augmented reality on where it might go in, say, the year 2034 or 2048. And it was a very fun story. We'll put the link up at the end of the episode as well so that you guys can enjoy that. So stay tuned for that as well. Also, over at the Robot Report, we're going to put all their little hashtags and whatnot in there. Speaking of hashtags, real quick, we also have our MIRC chat up and running. Come and join us on the chat channel over at MIRC. And when you log in, look for the channel that you blocked down and the hashtag TWIRtv, and go ahead and log in and say hello. Stop by, say hi to us. If you do happen to see this after that we have done of the effect, no worries, just go on and pop on and say hello, and then when we log in next time, we'll see if you said hello, or leave us a comment when you're going over there. We're live right now. Usually we try to be live between Tuesdays between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. depending on the circumstance or what the situation might be. But kind of bear with us. We're very excited. There's some other top news as well. We'll put these links up. Inapp Technologies has a takeover Fuda, he mentions, a recent change in management. Go ahead, there's an interesting article, and we will put that link up as well. iRobot holds 14% gain on favorable quarterly earnings in 2013 projections. There's another link for that as well. Time Magazine's featured robots on 2 covers on the last 2 months. Actually, a couple of those were some of those that we mentioned in episode 1 and in some of our beta tests as well. We were talking about some of the gorilla robots that are coming out as well. Rethink Robots, and they've gone over to launched Baxter and NAO versions for research and education. I apologize that I can't seem to speak this morning very well, so bear with us. on that as well. So that's just a few. And then we were also talking about surgical robots as well. A few weeks ago, there was an article that came out. Innovative Critical suffered a $20 loss in stock prices while reporting on higher earnings and profits. You know, go figure. There's another link on that talking about those robotic surgical robots as well. So there's an interesting change in that. And many, many other stories as well. And we'll also post these and give those a link and forward those, some of those reports and those links over at our TWIR. Don't forget to follow us and send a hello over to TWIRtv. That's at TWIRtv over at our Twitter page. And right here on USTREAM, I hope you guys are joining us today. We're really glad to have you along. Got lucky, very, very gorgeous day outside up here in the South Portland East Coast area. So we're very excited about it. Speaking of that, while we were talking about Google Glass a little earlier, I was very excited to see this app that could potentially try to give you the idea of approximate time frame of when it may be starting to rain or stop. Kind of the way we saw that in Back to the Future, which we will get into shortly in Robots in Media. You'll find too when I take these stills and these spots, we're supposed to have a little graphic that comes across the scene. So bear with us as we're trying to work that integration in, and I'll have to take full control over here because we haven't got our interns behind the camera yet. So we're not able to upgrade and have all this stuff put into place yet as well. So bear with us as we continue in TWIR. Another place as well, on a quick side note as well, we'd like to also talk about Robot Shop over at robotshop.com. That's where I've looked at a lot of the hobby kits for robots, and we're very excited. We're hoping, we're still trying to have some discussions right now, and we're hoping that we can lead into our own spin-off series talking about sort of building and hobbyist robots and all those other enthusiasts out there to sort of get involved in that. We'd love to get interviews, and don't forget to email us too. Stop by, say hi on our Twitter, send a shout out. Go ahead and email us too if you want to be part of the studio audience or be interviewed on our show. Make sure to put TWIRtv, that's TWIR TV, at gmail.com and put in the subject interview, and we'll do our best to contact you and be in touch with you. Here's hoping. I hope everything is going well out there. I've missed you all last week. I'm glad to be back for episode 2, technically episode 8, I guess, because we had like 5 or 6 betas, and we're trying to kind of get this thing off the ground. So continuously trying to expand, but it's tough because when you have a monthly income, you have to kind of stretch what little bit you can do to expand on that. And, you know, you get very creative in finding ways to expand on that. This week in Robots and Media, we'll take a look at, I know, the second episode over on Cartoon Network, Teen Titans Go. We're going to see, once again, Cyborg, and we have a new mini game over at Cartoon Network that they put up. He actually has to help protect Silky, which is one of the little characters. If any of you folks might be Teen Titan fans, you might recognize that. There's another one up right now, Beast Boy Housebroken Heroes. I actually tried that one last week. That was kind of fun. It's very cute. And that's just another place where we're seeing Robots and Media pop up. You know, even though it's more of a cyborg character, we're seeing that. Some of the DC Nation that they've been playing on and off on Cartoon Network. And Lost in Space, still on MeTV, is now on their rotation. They're back to their black and white pilot episode. Once again, this past Saturday night, they kicked off that, so we're very excited to see the rotation come back around again. I was actually really in and enjoying that series much later. Usually, it was, I think, near the end of season 1 is when I actually joined it. And even though I had seen a few reruns of it many years ago, cough, cough, to show my age a little bit, I hadn't really had the opportunity to sit and actually see it all the way through. I had seen the remake of the film, and we were excited that the voice actor, they were able to get back to do the robot again, which was cool. Robbie had been seen in many other films. That we actually briefly mentioned him in one of our early beta episodes as well. So that Lost in Space is also in their rotation and repeating right now too as well. So we're going to take a look at our advertisers today. Don't forget to go on over to, excuse me, apologize for that. Excuse me. Don't forget to go on over to stamps.com and we'll have the link right there, our affiliate link. We're trying to get a backslash so that we can give you TWIRtv, but we haven't got that all set up yet. As well as, speaking of getting things all set up, don't forget over at squarespace.com. These guys are great. It's a nice e-commerce. I had looked at e-commerce for years and I wasn't able to find a decent setup. Going over to squarespace.com and sign up. You'll get 30 free days to try it. It's really nice. It actually sets it up, allowing you to play on your tablet, any smartphone. Heck, we'll have to see how it works with new Google Glass. Wink, wink, right? That's another question for another day. Any of the other major ones, they're trying to move away from Adobe and a lot of the Flash, and they're trying to use HDMI5, and that's becoming more standard. It's more faster, it's more fluent. I know, especially on the Wii and the Wii U, we've tried to run streaming, and it doesn't. It always keeps saying, please install and load Flash, and we're hoping that some of those websites will catch up. Now, if they have, since you've watched this, and this may be an older episode by the time that you folks come back and see it, or maybe you're watching it right now live with us. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see kind of where that direction goes with it. I know that they're trying to integrate that with better options for the PS4 and the new Xbox that is potentially on its way. So that's just a few sites that you guys can go check out. We will put all these links at the end of our episode. Don't forget to tune in. I was just looking at the 2013. We talked about that on episode 1 last week and a couple of our beta episodes. We mentioned 2013's VEX Robotics for high schools, college, and middle schools. And all the competitions went on last week, and I was just watching some of the highlights, and it was really nice to see so many people just getting the excitement building and whatnot. And we were actually going to try to run one of the trailers and integrate that, but again, we haven't got the software we want to upgrade. It's like $600 for the software we want to upgrade. And if you just saw a little black furball jump down, yes, that was Mora. And she's here along with us. She is our mascot, part of Cat and Fox Studios. We want to thank Cat and Fox Studios for their use of their studio while we film our live broadcast here for TWIRtv. We're all one big happy family. That's what I'm all excited about. I'm glad to be part of them. It's a small skeleton crew, but you know what? We love what we do, and we wouldn't have it any other way. And we're glad to have you guys along too, because it's all about you. It's never been about us. We've always been here because we love and we have a passion for all of this. And keep an eye out. Speaking of Cat and Fox Studios, they are also working on, I'm excited to be part of the main character of their independent film Human that they're working on, and we've mentioned that in the last couple episodes, episode 1 and one of the beta episodes prior to that as well. There was some highlights here. You may not be able to see it here. It's the VEX Robotics Championship. We wanted to go live, but that was actually some individuals they interviewed from Mythbusters, the fabulous Carrie Byron over there. And I apologize, Carrie, if I pronounced your last name wrong. Awfully horribly sorry, but she's fabulous. Don't forget, come on over. We are trying to open up the chat room over at the WIRC chat. And you can find our channel over at TWIR if you can as well. And we're trying to put up some surveys as well. So bear with us as we continue to try to make this a more integrating and fun experience for you. You know, we try to bring the quick highlights of the news in the beginning. We'll look at our advertisers and we look at robots in news. Then we usually move over to our sponsors and we might re-look back at the features after we come back from our sponsors a little bit more in depth. And we try to have a good time here. We are a bit serious, but at the same time, we know how to kick back and make it very personal and enjoy. We hope that you're enjoying your experience over here. I know I have a blast doing this to take on that sort of aspect of Mrs. Reporter. And it's been fun. I did journalism for 20 years. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bear with us because we're not so lucky to have all that nice tech, but we're trying to make it its best of our ability to work with what we have. And I hope that's what makes us unique and people join along and enjoy our content, not how top of the line our equipment is or whatnot, or what we can work with to the best of our ability. We try to use mid range equipment to the best of our ability. Actually, we were just going over that, and we will also list. We're trying to put up a list link for all the equipment that we use if anyone else is interested. And I have covered other aspects of it, of sort of working on your own setup on a very minimal budget. I'll talk about it very briefly. We use the Samsung Galaxy S2. I know actually they just put out the pre-sales and pre-orders through Best Buy for the new Galaxy S4, but some of us can't afford those, and I looked at the full price to purchase it. Don't really want to sign a contract. Not that it really matters, because you end up kind of spending the amount anyway, but sometimes when there's certain months and you don't want to have to pay, you shouldn't have to. But that's a whole nother, that's only my opinion. I'm not sitting here dissing anyone. I'm just saying that's how financially it works better for us. We use a splitter. We have a wireless Langolier. We use Pile, some of the Pile equipment. This is an attachment Langolier right here, wireless, that I'm using, and it's actually integrated into a splitter that we have coming out of the iPhone head jack, that it splits so that we have one set of headphones in the back over there, and they're monitoring those on the headphones. We have one going out for the microphone, so it's kind of neat. It's sort of a in and out. It's using the microphone and it's using headphone, so it's kind of nice that it's split it, not just in your generic one that comes with it. Those can be used as well, that come with it as well. We also have it plugged in. We have an extension cable that makes it, because the plug tends to be very short, that it came with, and we needed that. And then we also picked up an external battery charger. We picked up 2 or 3 chargers so that will allow us to actually go out and do, excuse me, remotes, or allowing us to get in a long enough time to be able to continue to be live and live broadcast, as well as going out and filming off-air footage that we can bring back and edit, that we use as well. And we help use that for part of Cat Fox Studios. That's part of their equipment as well. There's a couple of small clip-on lenses that we have gotten for that, to sort of give us more of the macro lens, fisheye lens. It was like a little 3-set that came with it that you can clamp on. Works pretty good. It gives you this circular and sort of widens the angle out a little bit for you. It's a fun little device. We're also working on trying to get like an 8 times longer lens that can give us a much better lens, so we can be a little closer and either back us up or pull us in, allowing for some more aspects of that. We're trying to integrate that into our software that we're using. We'll put the links up for the software that let you cut from video to video. I have another laptop we use in the background over here. This is actually an i3. I got it discounted on one of the Black Fridays. That's one of the best places we always look, is usually Black Friday, whether it be online on Cyber Monday or on the Black Friday. We got that. We got this integrated beautiful television, 22-inch HD 1080p, that we run an HDMI cable into it. We're not so lucky to afford the nice new ones. We can hit a button and it just streams and shows it up there. Actually, we're trying to integrate that here. This is a bit older computer here we're using. It does have an old 1.3 megapixel, but we are trying to upgrade, and we're working on trying to get a C920 camera as well. And there's a whole many more lists of equipment that we use that I don't want to get too in depth, because right now we only have sponsorship for a half hour. So we're not able to take on a good couple hours to really get into a lot of this in depth. So we're kind of covering some of the aspects and some of the areas very, very briefly as well. So looking back at those, we're very excited. I wish I could shoot the image up over here. We're trying to integrate that option as well for us. So you could show you the sync device on what it's the QR code that we were talking about for Google Glass earlier. And we were hoping to actually get some guests to come in and sort of get their reviews and their feedback on how they feel. And we want you guys to enjoy and encourage you to come over. Go ahead and log into our MIRC chat over on TWIRtv, or hashtag TWIRtv, and give us voice your opinion, or come on over to our live stream and talk on the live stream chat as well. We're trying to have that live as well here too. We just integrated a faster internet, so we hope that it's going to be more smoother when we start getting our guests on, so that when we can Skype them through and have our split screen, we'll be able to do our integration there as well. So thank goodness tech is allowing us to do more of this advanced stuff that we couldn't afford to do, that was pro equipment at thousands and thousands of dollars. They continue to, I've been just reviewing some of the specs. We're just very excited because we're gearing up and close closing in on the days for Google Glass to be here. And hopefully at some point, I hope that we'll be able to reach our goal that you'll be able to see me on one of the episodes actually wearing it and seeing things integrated. I hope I'll be able to integrate that, allowing that to pipeline if there was anything, and shoot out a life blogger as well and go live and be able to show you what it'd be like first person perspective as well, or that we can change our angles so that if I'm showing a view, we could always try it that way. So there's a lot of ideas. Some of the other top stories that we covered as well, like I said, I will have those links up, and I won't get too much in depth in those as well because we're kind of getting ready to wrap up our episode in about 10 minutes. So remember, if you want to be part of our studio audience as well as maybe possibly being interviewed, don't forget to come on over to TWIRtv@gmail.com and put either in the headline, put interview, and let me know. Send me a description, tell me more about yourself. I'd be very excited to do what I can. We want to try to get to everyone to the best of our ability, and if it's to do with anything like tech, news, robotics, and we really want to see it, go to a whole different level. So by all means, reach out to us, TWIRtv@gmail.com, until we can set up our official email website. For right now, we have to stick with the freebie options, if you know what I mean. And while you're there, also, if you want to be part of the studio audience, the same email, TWIRtv, TWIRtv@gmail.com, and then put in the subject studio audience. We'd love to have you guys come. We just ask you to try to get here about half hour or so prior so that we can get you seated and relaxed and do our best. We'll maybe try to offer you water. Maybe at some point we'll get lucky that we could find an affiliate that would be more than happy to bring in snacks or some sort of treats for us, which would be nice. But hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, maybe somebody can make that happen for us. We're trying to reach out to some of the affiliates and see what they can do and integrate. And of course, we will advertise them, whether they be local or further out. That's totally fine as well, because we are all about all around the world for you as well. We're covering stories all over the place. When we look back at the robot shop, I was very excited about that. There's actually a couple of different hobby kits that I'm very excited about. There's a couple of smaller humanoid type robot styles, and I'd like to find a kit that we could integrate and upgrade Rob, because he's been a big icon for us since the beginning, without hopefully crossing over any kind of licensing issues with Nintendo. This We've been very excited to have him along, and he may just end up being sort of a character in the background, or if they end up contacting us and say, you're due to licensing infringement, blah, 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 well, we'll just have to take them down and start with a whole separate robot and go from there. Speaking of that as well, there are some other new robots coming out for tech in the news for the top robotic tech toys of this year. We're very excited. There was a couple of different types of robotic grill units that you can put into your grill that supposedly cook some of your meats, whether it be burgers or whatnot, to keep track an exact amount, to have it cook fully through and exact, and let you know, letting off some sort of beep or timer that I was reading about. I've been trying to see those things in action, which is kind of neat. Yeah, neat, huh? Trying to break down the walls of communication to make it easier. Speaking of something fun too, I was very excited. I ordered off of a new site as well. As a quick note, I have this great fun little laser pointer, pen, and then you turn it the other way, stylus, which is very, very cool. It's just sort of a fun 3-in-1 that's really come in handy for me and really helped me out whenever I needed to walk around with my smartphone and do something very quick, or, excuse me, make a quick note. I apologize. Excuse me. Some more of the highlights over at Vex Robotics Championship registration as well. They're going to be gearing up for that as well for the next year. Teams are only $75, schools $50 discount on additional teams as well for sign up. Fees $25. So if that helps, go on over to vexrobotics.com, and they should be able to find information over there all about the competition. You'll see there's a home, there's products, classroom, and it's the fourth one over, competition. If you know any students or individuals that might be in that range, age range, that were getting inspired and excited as well. We'd love to have some of those individuals. We've actually reached out and contacted them, but whether we'll be able to have the opportunity to get them on to interview them is a whole different story. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Once again, you can find us over at hashtag MIRCchat, and you can look for hashtag TWIRtv. Come and join the chat over there. We're trying to open up the chat, and every so often we'll try to flash that chat so that we get you guys integrated into the program so you can see it. Or I'm trying to get another individual television or screen that can flash up and show part of the ongoing chat that's happening with us and sort of what's happening in that chat room, and try to answer some of those questions and just kind of get the conversation going. We want to continue to keep this conversation going. You want to know any questions or any news that you want to see us feature next week on episode 3 and continuing on into our other episodes, by all means, keep us posted. We really appreciate everything. We are just getting ready to wrap up our episode now. That is me just stretching, getting ready to stretch further out and expand on the robotics within the world here. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. I'm Jenna Fox signing off again this week. I always miss you guys. I always love and enjoy getting all of your great comments. Just please keep the love going. Let's leave all the hate mess behind, please. So please be kind. Send us some love. Send us your feedback, and we always appreciate that when it's positive. Please, thank you. But honest, that's okay too. But keep the honesty to positive direction if you can. Let's keep those negative Nancys away and keep the positive Paulas and positive Pauls and all those in between that are identified or non-identified in any form or fashion. And don't forget privacy. Please respect all those that are on there, all the disclaimers that we normally see that we would hope that others will continue to respect out there. And we thank you guys again. Thank you again for coming this week. My millions thank you again. Jenna Fox signing off this week. Have a wonderful week. I hope it turns out to be a gorgeous one for you. We love you, and we'll see you again next week. Ciao. Thank you guys again. Thank you, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful show. We appreciate it, and signing off. Thank you guys.